So let's talk about the body contouring industry because it is absolutely booming right now. And if you're thinking about getting into it, you've probably already hit that first big question. Do I go for a free training or a paid certification? One seems way too good to be true, and the other feels like a huge investment. So what's the right call? Well, let's get into it.
And this is the central question, isn't it? Is that free online course a brilliant shortcut into the industry, or is it a trap that's just going to waste your time and maybe even put you at risk? In this explainer, we are going to get to the bottom of that, because honestly, the path you choose here has some very real consequences.
You know, the best way to think about this is like a journey. Imagine you're standing at a fork in the road. Both paths have a sign that says body contouring, but I promise you, they lead to completely different destinations. So let's pull out the map and figure out where each one of these paths actually goes. Which brings us to probably the most important rule of this entire journey. You have to know your destination before you start walking. See, there's no single best path here. There's only the path that's right for you and gets you where you want to go. And listen, if you're wrestling with this question, you are so not alone. Online searches for things like free body sculpting class have just gone through the roof. There's this huge wave of people wanting to get into the industry, and of course the idea of a free ticket in is super appealing. But what does that free ticket actually get you? Okay, let's take a walk down that first path, the free path. I like to call this the explorer route. It's fantastic for discovery, for kind of checking things out, but it is not the path you take to set up a business. So what even is a free certification? Well, it's usually some kind of online course that covers the absolute fundamentals, but you gotta look really closely at the wording here. It's designed to be educational. It is not designed to be professional, and that one little distinction, it changes the entire game. This really lays it all out, doesn't it? In the what you get column, you've got the basics, right? Some theory, some general safety ideas, and yeah, you get a certificate of completion. But it's the what you don't get column that's the real story. No hands-on practice, no certification that an insurance company will actually recognize, and zero guidance on local laws. And let's be real, those aren't optional extras. For anyone wanting to treat clients, those are the absolute essentials. So really, the best way to look at the free path is like a test drive. It's a brilliant, zero-risk way to dip your toes in, learn the lingo, and just figure out if this industry is even for you before you sink any real money or time into it. All right, time to back up and head down the second path, the paid professional route. We're not just exploring anymore. This path is for one thing and one thing only, building a legitimate business where you can safely and legally work on paying clients. A paid certification is all about making that leap from theory into practice. It's structured around what you actually need to do the job. Just look at the key phrases here: treating clients, getting insurance, operating legally. This is the bridge you have to cross to go from having a casual interest to having an actual profession. And here you can really see the massive difference in depth. A proper paid course is like being handed a full professional toolkit. You're not just learning what a machine does, you're learning the anatomy and physiology behind it, the exact safety steps, how to know who you can, and more importantly, who you can't treat. And then you're tested on it to prove you actually know your stuff. And let's be crystal clear, this is not just a list of things that are nice to have. This is the standard of training that the gatekeepers of the industry, we're talking insurance companies, local councils, professional organizations. This is what they expect to see before they'll let you play ball. Okay, this brings us to the most critical part of our whole journey, the high-stakes differences. This is the point where the path you choose stops being an idea and starts having very, very real-world consequences for your business, your finances, and your clients. If you take only one single thing away from this whole explainer, please make it this: the biggest, most non-negotiable critical difference between these two paths boils down to one simple word: insurance. I mean, this slide just says it all. With a recognized paid certification, you're covered. Insurers see that you've done the proper training. But with a free one, it's pretty much a guarantee they'll reject it as insufficient. And what that means is, if anything goes wrong, you are not covered. You could be held personally liable. We're talking about your business, your savings, everything is on the line. And it's not even just about insurance. The legal side of this industry is tricky. The rules can change from country to country, state to state, heck, even from one town to the next. You might not need a formal license, but you will almost certainly need to prove you have recognized training if anyone from the council comes knocking.
A generic free online course just can't give you that kind of specific local guidance. And finally, you have to think about your client. Today's clients are smart. They do their homework and they are going to ask these questions. Being able to confidently show them a professional, insurance-backed certification isn't just a piece of paper. It is the entire foundation of their trust in you. So we've walked down both paths now. We've seen where they go and we've seen the pitfalls. Now it's time to decide, which path is yours? And it all comes right back to that very first point we made. What is your destination? So let's make this super simple. The free Explorer path is the perfect choice for you if your goal is just to check things out. If you're curious, you want a basic intro, and you have absolutely no plans to treat paying clients anytime soon, then this is a great, totally risk-free first step. But the second your goal shifts from just being curious to wanting a career, you have to switch to the professional path. It's that simple. If you want to get insured, charge people money, operate legally, and build a business that people trust, then a paid certification isn't just an option, it's the mandatory price of entry. At the end of the day, there isn't a bad choice here, only a choice that doesn't match your goal. Free training isn't a trap if all you want to do is learn. And paid training isn't a waste of money if you want to build a career. The right path is just the one that actually gets you where you want to go. So it really all comes down to this one final question you need to ask yourself. And be honest, are you just exploring a potential new hobby? Or are you trying to build a new career? Your answer to that question tells you everything you need to know.